We won't wait.
We won't be paralyzed by what we see.
We won't run. We'll conjure up the courage we need to create solutions for our homeland.
Our
Africa.
We are #DIY Africa.
Welcome to #DIY Africa, presented by the Civic Tech Innovation Forum and GemFest.
And so your question is, who has the power and where could the power go, right? Who can channel it in the right way? And I think that's a really good question, because I think a lot of the pressure has been put on civil society. For example, one of the other speakers mentioned things like internet shutdowns or digital infrastructure. And you often see that when a shutdown happens, it falls on civil society to kind of, advocate for it to be turned on and to make our plea. And on the other hand, when it comes to like private tech developers, you see that a lot of people have capitalist dreams, right? Like when you look at university technologists, a lot of them are like, I want to be the next Jeff Bezos, I want to be the next Elon Musk. But those are fundamentally not very nice people. And the way they run their companies, I don't want to use excessive language. It's not nice. It's not grounded in justice. It's not what we should be aspiring to. And yet when you look at academia, you look at private companies, that's what a lot of young people are like, yes, that's kind of the dream that I want. So I know that my other speaker, Vandita, already mentioned about the role of feminism. And here I want to talk about the feminist principles of the internet, which are a number of principles that are laid out. And I definitely say anyone on this call to check it out. And for me, I would love to, I know I talk a lot about like envisioning the future, because I feel like we're in the present and it kind of sucks, but it's kind of nice in some ways. But like what we have to decide, where do we want to go? Because right now, a lot of Africa is just like, different. I just saw a tweet about authoritarian donors, and I feel like we're always being pulled in different directions by donor priorities, right? Whatever it is, and we just go kind of with the flow. But we need to come together and have a moment and say, okay, these are the things that we kind of want. And I already mentioned that, of course. But if you think about different ways of governing data and technology, for example, could we have collectives? This is one of the things I really want to play around with, and it's a very feminist ideal of like, how can we have things that are more open source? Or how do we have collectives where groups of people own the data, for example? How do we have collectives where we govern our data differently? So it's not one company that, made, I don't even know the numbers, like hundreds of billions of dollars while people were dying in a pandemic. How can we come together and say, okay, we as a group own our data, we're going to do these good things with it. If we build something, we're going to do it in a way that a lot of people benefit. If you're making the data, maybe you can benefit from the data. Or if you're a content creator, what are different ways in general? Even if, I think one of the things I really enjoy talking about is like, what is a different type of internet that's not totally grounded in ads? Because so much of what you think about with like misinformation, disinformation is ad driven because they want the clicks. So, and it's all driven because of ads. So what is another way of funding content that is not based on ads, that actually rewards the content creators in different ways? And I think this is just, a very basic use case, but how do you think about this on a grander scale in terms of how people access and use technology? So for me, it's very much, we really need to just shift. I know it's a very big ask to be like, oh, throw capitalism in the trash. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but can we start to get together and think about what is an alternative system? Because this one doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. People, like, there's so much homelessness. There's so many negative effects of it, right? So what is next? And what does that look like for Africans?
We'll do it ourselves. We are #DIY Africa.